the law and try to keep a balance between the two. Islamabad is actually the pioneering Islamic financial institution in Pakistan, which introduced Islamic finance back in the 1980s with the promulgation of the Islamabad ordinance. I think maybe at the time Islamic finance was a little ahead of the time, and the Mudarris, for obvious and unavoidable reasons, did not fare too well. It went through a roller coaster of ups and downs in its financial history over the past 20-25 years. But nowadays, Mudarris, contrary to the perception, are an Islamic financial institution which are actually doing very well. Contrary to the perception, most Mudarris are performing above their breakup values and trading at a much lower discount in the market. But it's a very versatile type of Islamic financial institution. The Mudarris can indulge in almost any type of business that is not against the injunctions of Islam, and in any type of Sharia-compliant activity, be it project financing, venture capital, housing finance, investment banking, act as an SPV, brokerage, as long as it is Sharia-compliant. A very versatile vehicle for financing. The sector comprises about 30 Mudarris funds managed by the management companies. We have big names such as Standard Chartered Mudarris, Dawood's, and a few other. State Bank, in terms of our research for regulating this part of the financial industry. We built on State Bank's initial 5 or 6 financing contracts and the agreements, and recently the chairman of our religious board, the ex-Chief Justice of the government, certified as Sharia compliant 12 new products, which includes new things like syndicate Mudarris, syndicate diminishing shortcut, CFS Mudarris financing, and a few others. So this is just a step towards developing the market and creating some awareness, creating more competition. The SECP itself is involved in amending the Mudarris regulations, laying down new guidelines. We've established linkages with the Islamic Financial Services Board, which I personally believe is the main agency that will coordinate all the efforts of the Islamic financial stakeholders. I think standardization and harmonization being the crucial element here for the success of the Islamic financial industry. IFSB has a big role to play. With that, the AOP, the International Marketing and Accounting Organization for Islamic Financial Institutions, has made a very elaborate set of accounting standards, which Pakistan is in the process of adopting. We're still on IFS 2, which is not the Tijara. There are problems with that, but I think the growth is going to be slow and steady. Ahmed Khalid's analogy in the morning was very appropriate. The bird carrying a few drops of water. I think the niyyah has to be there. The passion has to be there. When we market Islamic banking and finance, it has to be from within. Brother Tawfiq's example of the chicken, I think I just add to that example, when we talk about halal and non-halal, the concept of halal and non-halal, we need to explain also the rationale or the logic from where halal is coming from. I think if we are explaining the difference between the two chickens, it would be very important to say that the halal chicken are more non-Muslim participants than actually Muslim participants in conference, and they are eager to understand the business. We just need to create a little more business, be a little more responsible. Brother Mufti Najib also mentioned that everyone knows where to go, what is the destination, where the goal is at. I personally think it's the regulator's job to define how to get there. Basically, it's our job to design the framework, to lay down the standards, the capital adequacy, the risk management, the fit and proper, the Sharia advisors, etc. And I think we should be the conduit to the end goal or the destination. As far as the Darba is concerned, I again emphasize that we work with the Industry Association, the Darba Association of Pakistan. They're doing a good job. It's an excellent vehicle, I emphasize once again, for the smaller entrepreneur. It's not capital intensive. Right now we have 5-6 commercial banks, but we have 30 Darba funds. The smaller size, they're into all sorts of things, brokerage, trading, commodities, leasing, ijara, and the like. You do Darba business and you distribute 90% of your profits, you're tax free. So a very big sweetener is there. Right now, one Islamic commercial bank has in Darba. It's a good structure to have if you have a commercial bank. If you're a small entrepreneur, it's a good area to start off and be part of the Islamic financial industry. We at SCP, we are very open to suggestions, any problems, any issues. We work closely, we look up to the State Bank for advice and guidelines. We have a joint Islamic financial services forum where we meet quite frequently to discuss issues and take the industry forward. So any issues, you can always bring them to SEC. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Jalal. And now, Brother Rafiq Nabi Muhammad, he is the General Secretary, Al-Barka Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society Limited, and he will be talking on Islamic finance through the cooperative sector.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, first of all, I have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and AlHuda for giving me the opportunity to share my views and how we are doing Islamic finance in Mauritius. I again thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving the opportunity to be among reputable scholars here, high caliber experts in the field of Islamic finance. Before going to the subject itself, I would like to tell you something which is very important. Pakistan and Mauritius have very good relations, and as a nation, you have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was given you the opportunity to be among the pioneers of Islamic banking and finance. First one. And the second one is about the judgment on riba which Pakistan had. That was a very, very important time in history. But you have to consider also that these opportunities given to you as a nation, you have to shoulder your responsibilities because as one of the his presentation showed how other nations, or you can say competing to be financial fund or Islamic banking and finance. So these for the well, I will come now directly to the topic. That is how we have been doing Islamic finance in Mauritius. So first of all, I will give a background, a geographical background of Mauritius, because I think most of you don't know about Mauritius. Because Mauritius is so small in the Indian Ocean, so maybe some of you maybe have heard about Mauritius. And the Muslims in Mauritius, and how we are integrating current finance in Mauritius to the corporate sector, and how we organize the Baraka, the legal framework, products and services that we are giving, and for the activities, how we have been meeting the challenges and conclusion, and what are the opportunities of having Islamic banking and finance in Mauritius. So, as you can see, please, I have given only 10 minutes, so I will request everybody just give me your attention. First, I just be alert for this 10 minutes, please. I'm going to bring it to Mauritius, also So Mauritius is a gateway to Africa, South Asia and Asia. It's a multi-religious society. The population is only 1.3 million people. Right? The Hindus are majority, 51%, Christians 28%, and the Muslims 18%, and the rest of the Chinese 3%. Right? In Mauritius, you can see the presence of Islam, the presence of Muslims in all walks of life. We have Islamic schools, we have professionals, we have orphanages, we have businesses. And Muslims in Mauritius, they have been striving enormously in the development of the economy. We have many businesses operated by Muslims. But as a community, little has been done to establish the Islamic financial system in Mauritius. So, when the phenomenon of Islamic banking was taking place for the world, Muslims in Mauritius also wanted to become part of that Islamic banking phenomenon, and it is one of the ways to reestablish our identity. So we started working, I and a group of friends, we started working on that project, how we could have an Islamic bank at that time in Mauritius in 1990. So we had some preliminary work carried out to study the financial laws in Mauritius, the Companies Act, the Leasing Act, etc. So we deduced that we could form a credit union in the cooperative sector and apply the Islamic financial techniques in that sector. So the cooperative sector is open to the Islamic finance system. So, this is the first part about Islamic finance. Okay, we have been talking the whole time, we have been talking. Now, what's the cooperative? Briefly, I want to look at the history of cooperatives. We find that it was started in 1844 in England, the cooperative principles, where people exploited to form the cooperative. And I would like also to add that cooperatives, societies, credit unions, they have been in any economy, whether it is capitalist economy, whether it is socialist economy, it has been prevailing in all types of economies. So, the cooperative has the definition of the cooperative according to the International Cooperative Alliance. Now we have the various principles of cooperatives, and credit unions are the same. And I was reading a paper by Professor Rodney Wilson. In his paper he mentioned that even in Pakistan, we had the cooperative union, the credit cooperatives, but I think it is not being used practically. So, why we choose cooperatives? Because I say that the legal framework